Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Discover Your Dreams. I'm Cynthia, and I'm really glad you're here. Before we talk about anything else, I want to invite you to just arrive for a moment. Not to do anything differently, just to notice that you're here, listening. Because that alone is part of the work. Today, I want to introduce you to the foundation of everything I share here, the grounded life philosophy. And we're starting exactly where real change begins, with regulation. Because nothing truly changes until the body feels safe. Most of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that change comes from effort, that clarity comes from thinking harder, that healing means pushing through discomfort until something finally shifts. And if you're someone who's done a lot of inner work, you might already know what needs to change in your life, but still find yourself repeating the same old patterns. That disconnect can be incredibly frustrating. And I want to say this clearly right from the start. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means your nervous system is involved. Here's something that often gets overlooked in personal growth spaces. The body decides what is safe long before the mind decides what is logical. When the nervous system doesn't feel safe, the mind goes into protection mode. And from protection mode, we don't choose, we react. We might overthink. We might shut down. We might people please, control, avoid, or stay stuck in familiar cycles, even ones we consciously want to leave behind. Not because we lack insight, but because safety hasn't been established. Regulation isn't about being calm all the time. It's not about being relaxed or positive or even high vibe. And it's definitely not about forcing yourself to feel better. Regulation is about creating enough internal safety that your system can pause. And that pause, that's everything. Because when there's a pause, awareness becomes possible. The body can breathe. The mind can soften. And choice comes back online. Without that pause, even the best intentions get overridden. If you've ever said to yourself, I know better, so why do I keep doing this? Or, why can't I just follow through? Or maybe, why does this feel harder than it should? There's nothing wrong with you. Your nervous system may simply be doing its job a little too well. And instead of trying to overpower it, the invitation is to understand it. One of the core truths in the grounded life philosophy is this: safety allows awareness, and awareness restores choice. We often try to start with awareness. We analyze, we reflect, we self-correct. But awareness without safety often turns into self-criticism. When the body feels unsafe, awareness feels threatening. And the system tightens instead of opening. And that's why regulation comes first. Think about a time when you felt truly grounded, even briefly. Maybe you weren't problem solving. Maybe you weren't trying to fix anything. You were just present. Notice how different decisions feel in that state. That's not coincidence. That's regulation. Purpose, clarity, and alignment emerge from that place, not from pressure. In the grounded life philosophy, we don't ask, what do I need to change about myself? Instead, we ask, what does my system need in order to feel safe enough to be honest? Because honesty with yourself requires safety. And from that honesty, life starts to reorganize naturally. There was a time in my life when I knew all the right things. I understood the concepts. I had the language. I could explain what healing should look like. And yet, my life wasn't reflecting that understanding. I would make decisions that didn't align with what I knew was best for me. I would feel pulled back into familiar patterns, even after moments of clarity. And for a long time, I thought that meant I wasn't disciplined enough, or that I wasn't trying hard enough. What I didn't understand yet was that my body didn't feel safe. Not safe enough to slow down. Not safe enough to trust stillness. Not safe enough to choose something unfamiliar, even if it was healthier. I remember realizing this very clearly during a season when everything felt unstable. On the surface, I was doing the work. But underneath, my nervous system was braced, constantly scanning, constantly preparing. And from that place, no amount of insight could stick. Because my system wasn't asking for clarity, it was asking for safety. Once I began focusing less on fixing myself and more on grounding myself, things shifted in a way I wasn't expecting. Not all at once, not dramatically, but subtly. I noticed that I paused more before responding, that decisions felt less urgent, that I didn't need to prove my growth because I could feel it. And what surprised me most was that purpose started to emerge after the grounding, not before. That's when this truth really landed for me. You cannot build a meaningful life from a body that feels like it's constantly under threat, even if that threat is old, even if it's quiet, even if you're no longer aware of it consciously. What I wish someone had told me back then is this: if your life feels stuck, it may not be because you're resistant to change. It may be because your nervous system doesn't yet trust the next step. And trust can't be forced. It has to be felt. That realization changed the way I approached everything: healing, purpose, relationships, and eventually the way I guide others. And that's why regulation sits at the foundation of the grounded life philosophy. Because once the body feels safe, life doesn't need to be pushed. It begins to unfold. This isn't fast work, and it's not meant to be. A grounded life isn't built through urgency. It's built through consistent moments of presence. That's why this space isn't about quick fixes or constant striving. It's about returning to yourself again and again. As you listen, you might ask yourself, where in my life am I trying to force clarity? What would shift if I focused on safety instead? What does grounding look like for me? Not in theory, but in practice. You don't need answers right now. Just noticing is enough. Over the next few videos, we'll explore regulation in a very real, everyday way. How it shows up in decision-making, how it affects purpose, and how grounding yourself changes the way you meet life. This work isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you are when your system feels safe enough to be present. For now, just remember this. You don't have to force calm. You don't have to chase clarity. and you don't have to fix yourself to move forward. When your nervous system feels safe, everything else begins to settle naturally. That's where a grounded life begins. I'll see you next time.